Climate gentrification is the development of a torn-down urban area by building green and resilient infrastructure to adapt to the impacts of climate change. However, a slew of social issues follow, where the needs of lower-income groups are compromised. Let's analyze climate gentrification in Miami and Puerto Rico to understand these social issues.
Global atmospheric temperatures continuing to rise, glacier melting and the thermal expansion of water has caused sea levels to rise at an alarming rate, threatening many present and future livelihoods. In Miami, sea levels are expected to rise by 0.8 meters by 2060. This has significantly influenced the prices of real estate. In the 1970s, housing with an elevation of 0 to 1 meters above sea level had the highest demand. However, over the years, the demand for higher elevation real estate has increased, driving up prices. This is evident in Little Haiti and Liberty City, which are 3 meters and 2.16 meters above sea level respectively. In Little Haiti and Liberty City, the prices of high elevation neighborhoods have doubled compared to beachfront housing. Considering that the majority of Little Haiti and Liberty City's residents belong to low-income groups, they are being disproportionately affected, most of them forced to move out due to increasing rent or be pressured to sell their property. We now head to Little Haiti to hear the story of the people affected by climate gentrification. How has rising housing prices affected you and your community?
Well, I am being pressured to sell my property to land developers who want to rejuvenate the area. Property prices keep rising because they are building this Magic City Innovation District in Little Haiti. It's a $1 billion property project with high-end housing, hotels and shopping malls. But honestly, I'm much luckier because I own this house and people who cannot afford rent are being evicted. And this hits quite close to home, honestly, because one of my friends is sick and she can't work, but her rent has been raised from $245 to $700 a month. Yeah, the poor really suffer the most.
In Puerto Rico, climate gentrification is occurring at an even larger scale. Let's head over to see what the situation is like.
Puerto Rico is a tropical country that experiences frequent hurricanes. Hurricanes are massive storm systems that form over warm ocean waters. As climate change causes a rise in sea surface temperatures, evaporation rates will increase. This increases the transfer of thermal energy from the ocean to the atmosphere, causing an increase in intensity of hurricanes. In response to climate change, the Puerto Rican government has been gentrifying parts of the coastal cities. Let us hear about it from one of the government officials.
During Hurricane Maria, many coastal neighborhoods were destroyed. It was the strongest hurricane that we experienced so far. With a heightened threat of hurricanes and storm surges, the Puerto Rican government aims to gentrify coastal areas with floodproof infrastructures. With limited government funds available, we could only give property grants to coastal apartments to residents who are willing to floodproof their houses. Residents who could not self-fund this floodproof infrastructure will unfortunately have to relocate inland, which is less exposed. However, many coastal residents are reluctant to because of their heritage and their strong sense of rootedness. They are willing to face the danger that comes with it. We've had years of public unrest trying to move them, and indeed, it is an uphill task.
To better help low-income groups transition into a world of warming climates, governments must develop social safety nets. In gentrified areas, the government can dedicate land space for public housing, or even provide housing subsidies. They could wholly fund the construction of flood-proof infrastructure in vulnerable neighborhoods, rather than forcing low-income residents to leave. The best strategy, perhaps, is for countries to reduce carbon emissions and limit the global temperature's increase by 1.5 degrees Celsius, as prescribed by the Paris Agreement. That way, we can reduce the negative impacts brought about by climate change.